Hi there, Alan Feirer here with a book report. It's been a while since I've done one, but I just read something great. Daniel Pink's latest, When, The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing. I love it. I recommend it. It's a fairly easy read, a fairly interesting one. Like a lot of Dan Pink books, like Drive or anything else he's written. It's a little bit wonky in the very best sense in terms of there's data, there's research, but he does a great job of providing narratives to help it make sense. In this book, he's talking about when's the right timing for things, whether it's what time during the day, what time during the life cycle of a project, what time during the week, what time during your life, and what makes teams sync up or not, and then also some thoughts on like the way we talk about time and how that can affect things. So some things are like super practical takeaways. I'm looking right now at a page toward the beginning of the book where he talks about 4 tips for a better morning. Drink a glass of water when you wake up. Don't drink coffee immediately after you wake up. Get a little bit of sun. Like very practical, but there's some research behind it that has changed the way that I consume coffee in the morning, and it's kind of made a big difference for me. Um, and there's some other things that talk about some philosophical things that are societal for us, but the research doesn't back it up. Page 65 talks a lot about the best meal or the most important meal of the day. We think it's breakfast. Research actually shows it's lunch, and lunch matters. And there are 2 things that have to happen during lunch for your brain to recover the best. The 2 ingredients are autonomy and detachment. It's important to be in control of your lunch and spend some time away from work and maybe even away from others during your lunchtime, and then that can help you provide some energy for the afternoon. The other thing that's interesting is there's a lot of societies, a lot of cultures where an afternoon break or an afternoon nap makes sense. Research supports that a short afternoon nap works. The ideal length of a nap is 20 minutes, roughly 20 minutes. I've always believed in the 13-minute power nap. He says you can take anywhere between like 10 and 30 minutes. It should be fine. But that power nap, and then he invents or coins a term called the nappuccino, where you have some coffee, then take a nap, then go about your business. It says that provides an awful lot of energy boost, and that's really true. Sometimes you wonder in a process, selection process, an interview process, a pitch process, is it good to go first or good to go last? He actually lists 4 situations when you should go first and 4 situations when you should not go first. For example, if you're the default choice, you think that you've probably got this, whatever it is, in the bag, it makes sense to go last rather than first, because if you go first, then the novel approaches might upend you. Whereas if you're the novel choice, don't go first, go after the default choice if you have any choice in the matter yourself. Um, it's not depressing, it's affirming, but research points out that there is such a thing as a midlife slump, but not a midlife crisis. That well-being tends to dip close to age 50, but then the optimism is it increases sort of dramatically throughout the rest of your life. And there's practical pointers on what to do as you hit those ages in order to not let that affect you as much. Similar research points out that when we do projects, we tend to cut corners in the middle of the project execution, though not at the end or at the beginning of the project. Instead, it makes sense to pay attention to that, and then note when you're toward the midpoint of a project, it's important to kick it in a bit. Let's see, one more insight for you. Talks about the 3 things that can link teams better, that cause teams to be really well in sync. Tells some great stories about that. He said that these 3 things keep rising to the top. Is there a clear boss? Is there a sense of belonging? And do you activate do you activate the uplift? Do you find ways to make the team feel good and have good morale about what they're doing? Those are just little tiny takeaways from that. Why are ages 29 and 49 the most frequent ages that people run their very first marathon? There's some neat insights from that. People don't always make their best decisions in the afternoon. Some people do, but most people don't make their best decisions in the afternoon. He goes into the reasons why, and then helps you understand what tasks you should do in the morning and which you should reserve for the afternoon to like take advantage of when we are at our peak sense of timing. So I recommend When by Dan Pink, The Scientific Secrets of perfect timing. I've already adopted some of this stuff, um, and I recommend that you do too. It's made me more effective. I think it can help others. Thanks for watching.